like a dream. I love the way it punches every time I roll the gas. No matter where I am at 10,000 RPM, 8,000, I still have power. Check it out! Woohoo! Now the big switch from the KTM 1290 to the Tiger 1200. It feels a bit underpowered. This one feels like an old man's bike. This is the best GS on the market till now. The quick shifter, the blipper, the throttle, everything works just perfect. I like it very much. It's my favorite choice till now because it feels very comfortable and it lets you ride a bit harder while keeping a comfortable pace.
The 2018 big adventure comparison, we have the new Triumph Tiger XCA, in fact an updated model.
Yeah, it's a 1200 Tiger, the big Tiger in the special trim XCA. It has all the fancy things that you want on your big adventure bike. Also, we have the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S and the BMW R1200GS.
The bestseller.
The bestseller, yes.
Exactly.
The best in its class till now.
So the first thoughts about them. Let's start with the street behavior.
We had a lot of road ahead of us. We had rain, we had highways, A roads, B roads. Till now, we kind of agreed that the KTM, the 1290 Adventure S, it's the best bike when it comes to acceleration. The throttle, it's like you're saying, the engine reacts very fast. I love it. It's like a sports bike between adventure bikes. It pushes, no matter the rev range, no matter the gear, it's insane. At the opposite end, when you switch from the KTM to the Triumph, you'll feel, I had the feeling of an old man revving up his bike. Because, yeah, it's good, it revs up very well. But when it's in gear, when you try to push it, things are not happening. You roll the gas, you roll the throttle, but the engine is revving up a bit by bit, and then the rear wheel starts to spin. And that's not very bad, but it's a big adventure class, let's face it, yeah?
Okay, and that is happening despite the thing that the Triumph Tiger dropped about 11 kilos.
On the other hand, we have the BMW R1200GS.
Yeah, as we said earlier, it's the best seller on the market, and I think it's the best seller because it offers a very good balance between power and handling and comfort and so on. It's not as powerful as the KTM, it's obvious, and if you look to the tech specs, it's also not as powerful as the Triumph, because the Triumph, the guys at Triumph claim that it has 141 horsepower. Meanwhile, this one, the GS, comes with 125 horsepower, but it's lighter, and for me at least, it feels more agile and it feels more fun to ride than the Triumph.
I think the main thing that the BMW offers, it's that confidence that everybody needs when tackling corners and when riding on heavy rain. So the BMW offers a bit more than the other ones. It's that confidence that you need in order to roll the gas and still travel with 130 on the highway.
So you're talking about the suspension system?
I think mainly the suspension system. It's the proven fact that makes the BMW a bit more.
What about the suspension on the KTM? On the
The suspension for the KTM, it's semi-active suspension provided by White Power, and it feels very good. But it's a combo for both adventure and both street use, because I feel it a bit soft for harder street use. When you close and open the throttle in mid corner, when you need to close a turn, you'll feel it like balancing, and that's not the most one thing that you need when you're riding a bit harder. So this is a bit of a problem for me, at least when I'm pushing it a bit. It feels a bit like wobbly for me.
What about the Triumph?
The Triumph, it's a bit better, although it has the same suspension. At least the brand name
is the same.
At least the brand name is the same. It feels very good. It gives you the confidence, and it gives you enough grip in order to lean it very low in corners.
And I always loved the BMW braking system, the combined braking system provided by Brembo.
There's a lot of power. When you squeeze the lever, you feel that things are happening, that the bike, it's like stopping, and you still go further with your chest. Otherwise, I had some minor things that I need to express about the brakes on the KTM. You have to squeeze it very hard. I don't know if you noticed that, but they're also Brembo, but
yeah, they're different calipers.
Yeah, the calipers are different. They're not single block, while those on the BMW are. But I think the brakes on the Triumph are a bit better than the ones on the KTM. So KTM needs a harder squeeze on the brake lever in order to get that juice out.
Okay, so what we have? The engine, which one do you prefer?
The engine on the KTM, it's insane. I love the way it pushes. For me, it's the best.
Yeah, what about the feeling of the throttle? Any jerky feeling?
No. Till now, no.
Okay, so we agreed on the engine and on the throttle response. What about the suspension? Which is your favorite?
My favorite suspension will be the one on the BMW for sure.
For me too. And the brakes?
The brakes are the one on the BMW because they offer the most. They are the most powerful, and they offer the most bite out of those calipers, I think.
So, by far, the first impressions, the first thoughts. Which is your favorite on road until now?
Till now, I would end my trip with the BMW. I would stay in that saddle for
really
our last kilometers.
Because you're the racy guy out here.
Yeah, I'm the racy guy, but I like the feeling of confidence that the BMW gives me. Otherwise, I can settle up with a KTM.
What about the Triumph?
The Triumph, it's fun. It's fun. You have to push it a bit harder in order to keep up with the BMW and the KTM, but I would leave it for you.
Good. And the last thing for the day, what is the most annoying thing for you regarding these bikes? Let's start with the Triumph.
You know it already. The Triumph annoys me a lot because I have to keep the gas open in order to feel something.
And there's one more thing. It's overheating really fast.
And there's always the problem. The problem is old already because this tank is giving me a hard time. It gets hot in between my legs, and that's not the most comfortable ride that.
I think he likes your bike. What about the KTM?
I need some more braking power on the KTM. I don't like the brakes.
Okay, and what about the BMW? Let's try to.
On the BMW,
Okay, what about it? There must be something that is annoying for you.
The price.
What?
the price.
Thank you, Bogdan. Thank you. And also thank you for the bike.
mate.
The guy with the KTM, of course.
Yeah.
He must find an argument. Okay, yeah. But I think he's right. Because the BMW is about 20,000
20?
20,000 euros.
20,000 euros.
And
okay.
the KTM is how much?
16,500 euros.
About 16.
16,500 euros. But what's the price for the Tiger?
The price for the Tiger. Wait a moment, because I don't know. It should be somewhere around, I don't know, 17, 18,000 euros. But it comes with all those.
Let me tell you.
Wait. Because it's 19,590 euros in our country.
So
in
it's
Romania.
close to the GS as price.
It's the same as the GS, actually.
Okay. So
Which might sound right because it has all those.
yeah, it comes with all the right things on it,
Yeah,
but
But still, it's very expensive because
Yeah,
the
it's
KTM has
more
the
than
same
expensive.
equipment. It's the same equipment and it's cheaper. So good job, KTM,
Yeah.
for building a cheaper bike.
you know what? I think this KTM, it's a performance machine. If you have the skills, you can do almost anything. It reacts like a sports bike on street. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. Meanwhile, the BMW, it's more forgiving. I think a novice rider will love it instead of the KTM that pushes a lot every time you roll the throttle.
The second day riding these three bikes, we're almost done. But before putting an end to the story, there are some things to discuss more. Remember yesterday that we were complaining about the price of the BMW and of the Triumph, and we forgot to mention a couple of things.
There are small things that actually can make the difference. The KTM, it's cheaper, but it comes with a chain drive, and this one has cast aluminum wheels. So maybe if you add up a shaft and
Yeah, maybe
spoked wheels, the difference will be smaller, but there's still a difference. What about the comfort level on
yeah,
all
the
three
comfort.
bikes?
The comfort is very important for me because
Because they are touring bikes.
travel bikes, yeah, travel enduro bikes, yeah, and I must say that the most comfortable is the Triumph because
Yes.
it has the better weather protection, it has the electrically adjustable windscreen, it has the heated seat, and the only problem is the it heats up too much from the engine.
So if you don't put it on the heated seat, you still get some
Heat.
heat from the tank.
From the tank, yeah. So if you want a bike just for touring and for comfort, I think that Triumph is the best. But the BMW is very, very close to that point. It doesn't share the same weather protection, and it vibes a bit if you're into highway riding.
On the other hand, the BMW, it's very close.
Let's say this one gets a 9, which is almost perfect, and then the BMW should get an 8.5 or something like that, because
Yeah, somewhere
It's
between
very close.
8 or 8.5, somewhere between there.
on the other hand, the KTM is not that comfortable. There's something over there.
Yeah, it's more of a sports bike over here because the saddle, it's not that foamy, it's harder, it's wider, and when you ride it, you come very close to the tank and you feel it very wide in between your legs. The wind protection, it's not as good as on the other two. The windshield, although adjustable, it's not that wide, and you might encounter some issues.
Yeah, because it doesn't have that wind deflectors that BMW has over here and the Triumph has over there. So I think that's why it's not as comfortable, and it also vibes a bit.
Yeah, it vibes a bit more than the BMW. Yeah. It actually vibes a lot. But I must mention that this deflectors over here, these fairings, are very good for your knees. They are dispersing the wind along your knees. It's very good. I feel it quite comfortable on long roads.
But it looks very good.
Yeah, the looks are amazing. I love the headlight actually. Everybody says it's ugly, but I like it. It's different. When you see this KTM with the headlights on, you're like, oh my god, this is a Transformers bike or what?
Yeah, it looks very nice.
The looks are amazing. There's a minor thing that I dislike about the KTM and the Triumph. The way you have to scroll your menu. I'm very into one button to choose my riding mode or set up my suspension. I don't like. I love the idea of having a big dash like this one, a TFT dash. I love to see everything on it, but I don't go along with
for example,
too much buttons.
For example, the Triumph, you can't switch on the go between the road and the off-road mode. It's impossible. You have to stop when the asphalt
I've seen
ends.
that, yes.
This is just not okay. Or if you're on the off-road mode and you turn off the engine, it goes back to road again, and then you have to set up the mode. That's why I love the BMW, because everything is very simple and it's very.
You can adjust it on the go. Yes, everything is.
It's
simple.
very user friendly. I think this is the thing. Now the off-road part. It's quite complicated because we couldn't do a proper off-road, a proper enduro test with these bikes because we had street tires and because it wouldn't have been fair for the KTM, because we have the Super Adventure S version, is not the R version. The R version was built specifically for off-road use. This one was built more for touring and street use because it comes with those cast wheels, and the off-road one has 21 inches front and spoked wheels. But
that didn't stop us to ride it a bit in enduro, because why not? You have to do it. KTM is a bit different. You have to get used to the KTM style because everything seems a bit higher. The pegs are mounted a bit higher, and also the handlebar has a weird position for me because it's something new. But if you get used to it, it's a walk in the park.
Also the Triumph, well, it's lighter for this year, for this model. It's, I don't know, the Triumph says that it's better off-road.
Yeah, but it still feels heavy, and you still have to put some inputs, like muscle inputs, into riding
yeah,
it
it's top
off-road.
heavy, it still feels top heavy, and it comes with this wide fuel tank, and the ground clearance is also small. So I don't think it was. I think, in fact, I think this one is the most touring-oriented bike from these ones. The BMW, I know this bike very well. We used to ride it for, I don't know, maybe more than
Any other bike on the market.
yeah, exactly. We know it very well. On soft enduro, so far it can compete with the KTM.
Yeah,
We can't say which one is the best because we didn't come up with a proper test.
the only weird part about the BMW is the engine, because it's a boxer and you have both cylinders over there. So when you're on the saddle riding an enduro, riding on big mud holes, you will have greater chances of hitting the engine casing. Otherwise, I don't see any problems with that.
So I think that's enough with the enduro for now.
Yes.
We must do another test, get another KTM, the Super Adventure R with knobby tires, and
Can't
get
wait
the
to do that.
BMW. Yeah, that will be the off-road test. So before choosing the winner, the Triumph is the comfy one, is the
Most road intended, it's the most comfortable, yes, and although it features a powerful engine and soft suspension, you can do a bit of enduro. It's very cool. You can take it as a mile eater.
yeah, it's the mile liter. The KTM,
It's you get insane power and the sports bike attitude.
and the BMW offers a great package.
I think the biggest asset of the BMW is the confidence that it comes with it.
So, which one is the best?
I think if you are a novice rider and you are starting this in this segment, you should choose the BMW because it forgives a lot and it comes with the right package. You can do almost everything with it. But if you're an experienced rider and if you're a bit taller, because it's very important when you're choosing the KTM, you have to be a bit taller. The KTM is your answer. This bike pushes like insane. The engine you will get in love with this engine at the first throttle push. So the KTM is a bike for more experienced riders.
So, do we have a winner or not?
I would put the BMW and the KTM head to head.
Really?
Yes,
Head to head, but different.
very different actually. You won't believe the difference because if you know how to ride it, the KTM will give like miles to the BMW, but the BMW, the BMW can be sporty and comfortable at the same time.
Yeah, and this is the comfort thing because, look, you're a sports bike rider, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a traveler, I'm not a sports bike rider, so I want a bike to go far away, to eat some miles, to make a 1 month trip a year. So
Yeah, so you will go for the GS.
yeah,
but
I will go for the GS. Yeah,
I'm
if I were
only-
to choose a bike, I would go for the GS.
I'm only into smaller trips. I don't like going for 1,000 miles. So if I'm into this kind of traveling, the KTM will be my bike because I like to push it harder. I like to feel that roar underneath me. I like to do wheelies, dude. This bike wheelies like insane. So this is my kind of bike.
I think it's fair enough, yeah?
Yep.
So, that being said, this was our adventure test for 2018.